So what we've been doing is we've been solving trig equations using the graphs. Now there is another way of doing it, another method, and it's called the cast method. Okay, it's a very, very clever method. It involves you not having to draw the graphs. But it would be a good idea if you had in front of you now, just to, as I'm trying to explain this, the three graphs. So if you could see the three graphs in front of you, cosine graph, sine graph, and tan graph, then this technique or this method, okay, will become quite clear to you, and it's a very, very clever way of just saving a lot of time. So first and foremost, if you look between 0 and 90 degrees at your three graphs, all three graphs are positive. In other words, the sine graph is positive between 0 and 90, cos graph is positive between 0 and 90, and the tan graph is positive between 0 and 90. In other words, they're all above the x-axis between 0 and 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put the letter A in there. And what that A stands for is all, because all the graphs are positive between 0 and 90. Now if you look at the graphs between 90 and 180 degrees, the cos graph dips below the x-axis, the tan graph dips below the x-axis, the sine graph remains positive between 90 and 180 degrees. So I'm just going to put the letter S inside there. If you go between 180 degrees and 270 degrees, there is only one graph that's positive between 180 and 270, and that's the tan graph. The sine and cos graphs are both negative below the x-axis between 180 and 270, so you just put the letter T inside there. And lo and behold, between 270 and 360 degrees, there is only one of those three graphs that's positive, and that is the cos graph. And it spells cast, hence the cast method. Okay, C-A-S-T. What am I doing this time is this equation that I've been asked to solve is a negative 0.4. So what have I got to do with cast this time is not put my lines in where sine is positive. I've got to put my lines in where sine is negative, because I'm solving a negative equation. Notice sine is positive here, so I'm not going to put a line in. Notice sine is positive here, so I'm not going to put a line in there. Where am I going to put my lines? Where it's negative. Here and here. When I go to my calculator and press inverse sine, it's going to give me one of those angles. It actually gives you this one. You're probably thinking, well, why does it give you that one? Well, it actually gives you a negative answer. Okay, it actually tells you it as a negative answer. It comes to, I think, 23.6. So what's your calculator giving you as an answer is minus 23.6 degrees. But that minus 23.6 degrees isn't in our range. What answers are in our range is we go clockwise, there's 0, anti-clockwise we're moving, so that's 90, 180, I've hit my line. If that's 23.6, that is also 23.6. So my first answer is 180 plus the 23.6, which gives me an answer of 203.6 degrees. My other one, all the way along here, past 270. Quick way of getting that was to go all the way to 360 and just come back on yourself. So do 360 take away 23.6, which comes to an answer of 336.4 degrees. Now over here, cos x equals a negative number. Let's put our cast in, C-A-S-T. This time, it's a negative value. Some lines are where cos is negative. Cos is positive here and here, so it must be negative here and here. I go to my calculator and I'm expecting my calculator to give me this angle. Why that angle inside there? It's definitely gone bigger than 0 to 90. It's an angle between 90 and 180. When I press inverse cos of this negative 0.8, it gives me an answer of 143.1 degrees. And lo and behold, it matches where I've put my line. Starting here again, 0, past 90, hit the line. So that's my answer, 143.1. Where am I hitting this other line? I'm hitting this other line here. Best way of getting that one, I'd go all the way to 360 and come back on myself. So I'd do 360 degrees all the way around, take away the 143.1, and you've got the angle inside there, which comes to 216.9 degrees. Finally, tan x is equal to negative 2.3. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put my lines where tan is negative. Remind me, C is positive there, cos is. They're all positive here. Sine is positive there. Tan is positive here. I don't want to be putting my lines in there. I'd put my lines in there if it was plus 2.3. It's not. It's minus 2.3. So my lines go in there and my lines go in there. I go to my calculator. I press inverse tan of negative 2.3. And lo and behold, it gives me a negative answer. It gives me an answer, okay, of negative 66.5 degrees. What does that tell me? It tells me this is going round positively. So if I go round negatively, it's telling me that angle inside there is minus 66.5. I'm only interested in the size of it. Not interested in the fact that it's negative, just want the size. Remember, there's my crisscross. If that's 66.5, that angle inside there is also 66.5 degrees. Now I'm ready to use my range, 0 to 360. Start at nothing, go all the way around, 90, hit. Best way of getting that hit, go to 180 and come back on yourself and take away 66.5, and that gives you an answer of 113.5 degrees. And finally, I'm going to go all the way around, all the way around, all the way around to hit this next one. So what would I do? I'd go to 360, take away the 66.5 degrees, and I get 293.5 degrees. Now, finally, if the range was minus 360 to 360, all you do is go 0 to 360, hit your lines, stop, because you've done the 0 to 360, and then 0 to minus 360, just go backwards. Okay, so you're going clockwise, and don't forget, just put a minus sign because you're going backwards on yourself. Okay, and every time you hit your line going backwards, you write your angle, but don't forget to put a negative sign with it as well. So, to summarise, two ways of solving trig equations: drawing the graph, drawing a line across, looking at the regions, okay, writing your answers, or this super duper diagram here, which summarises all those graphs in one very, very simple place, a 4-quadrant diagram. And when you go round, hitting your lines, write down your answers. Thank you.